Ranjan's going to sing with us.
And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji commences tonight's satsang with the Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with mystic song by Sri Swami Lalitananda, played and sung by Sri Swami Umananda and Sri Niranjan.
And Sri Rajneesh.
And Sri Rajneesh.
Oh
We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujyatman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is October the 21st, 2020, Wednesday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Yoga Vasistha. This is series 2018, class number 282. And now Pujyatman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adoration to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha in Upasham Prakarana, rather Nirvana Prakarana, Purvardha, section 28. The illusion of the body and the world. Sage Vasistha, having told about Kakabhushundi and his enlightenment, began to answer Sri Rama's question. Rama's question was, O sage, tell me about this body consisting of bones, flesh and blood, which is a residence for the soul. Who has created the body? Whence has it arisen? What is the true nature of the spirit that dwells in it? And what is the reason for which the body has been created? All question about the body. Body. Sage Vasistha replied, O Rama, listen to the teachings that are meant to destroy the world process along with its manifold evils. In other words, when we start asking about the body, you are not aware how kindergarten type of question it is. Because you are not the body. And the idea of the body is in the mind, not the body can't exist independent of mind. In order to prove there is body, who is proving it? Mind. So, all about the idea I am the body is backed up by the illusion. And therefore, finding answer to who created the body, where the body going, etc., etc. This is an extension of illusion. In other words, focus your attention on your mind. The body idea is a projection of the mind, vritti of the mind. So, keeping that in view, you can now follow the reply given by sage Vasistha. O Rama, listen to the teachings. This residence of the body, which has pillars, body is first described allegorically like a residence, like a kind of like a palace. And a palace has to have pillars. The body has bones. You have a whole skeleton of the body. And all those bones are your pillars. Nine gates, such as the mouth, nostrils, etc., etc. All these are the gates of this palace. And it is well plastered. With blood and flesh. It's a Rakshagriha. Remember in Mahabharata how Pandavas were trapped by a shellac, whole house, palace built by shellac or some combustible material. That was allegorical episode conveying the same teaching that now you are listening to. This body of blood and flesh has in fact not been created at all. It exists as an appearance, much similar to a mirage in a desert. So, first point to understand, it is not real creation. Just like you ask a question, who painted the sky blue? Which is a very rational question. But the advanced answer is, the sky is, nobody painted it. The sky is never blue. Your eyes are creating that illusion. Your mind, conditioned mind, is creating the illusion of the reality of your body and the world in which you live. Since this body is experienced in one's daily life, it is called real. But since it is negated in spiritual enlightenment, it is called unreal. So you are mixed up of real and unreal, called anirvachaniya, indescribable. As long as you are not enlightened, body is your reality. With enlightenment, the body never existed. As long as you dream body is your reality. When you wake up, the it never existed. Even the question, where did it come from, who created, nothing matters now. The dream is unreal. And therefore, a subtle message, asato ma sadgamaya. All that you experience on the basis of body identity, all that is asat, unreal. And your goal is to have the revelation, I am Sat. I am the absolute reality, existence absolute. As long as dream lasts, the dream body seems to be real, but upon waking, it is found to be illusory. In the same manner, the body is perceived as real as long as the dream of the world process continues to dominate the mind. But when intuitional realization of the self brings about the awakening of the soul, the body is no longer perceived as real. The body in Sanskrit is known as sharir, shiryate, that which perishes, also known as deha, dahyate, that which is always on fire. You have to have some temperature. It's always on low heat. But that's I'm joking. But the idea is, all this is perishable. But if you are identified with the body, then that will be your experience, your conviction that you are a perishable personality. You are going to live so long and then there will be finished. But for enlightened sage, body identity doesn't exist. And for an aspirant, his mind has to work upon that his body identity is backed up by ignorance. And ignorance and freedom from ignorance both are dramatized by your chitta, the unconscious mind. Man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Mind is the cause of bondage and release. So, two types of sadhana has to be adopted, Vahiranga and Antaranga. Vahiranga, as long as you are identified with physical body, which is your practical reality, allow your personality to pursue integral yoga. Actions should be such that they are purifying your heart. Emotions must turn into love for God. Willing aspect must allow you to practice the technique of concentration, meditation, to gain willpower. And your reasoning must follow the scriptural teaching of discovering who am I. In other words, the disciplines of karma yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, they are outer stage. Internal stage, shedding mala, vikshepa and avarana. Mala, gross impurity, internally being sublimated. Nothing to see from outside. Vikshepa, distractions, being removed. And finally, ignorance, like a veil of illusion, that must terminate. I always give the simple illustration of seeing your face in a mirror. Who you are. See yourself in the mirror of your mind. But now mind, the mirror of your mind has 3 limitations. Using the ordinary illustration, the mirror has 3 limitations. The mirror has some dust particles over the surface of something that veils the surface, or it distorts your reflection. That mala does not allow you to see your face because of impurities over the dust over the mirror. Vikshepa, now suppose you remove the mala. First, what you are seeing along with the dirt on the mirror, what you are seeing is so distorted that you can hardly know who you are. As you begin to remove mala, you begin to see yourself in different stages. Your face breaks up into many stages, and you are so odd, you hardly started seeing your nose. And then see how nose be bigger than what you thought. So now there is a sense of how wonderful am I, and yet you are never settled what you are. You are curious. And that is corrected by meditation, dhyana and bhakti. And when you correct it, the revelation of who you are is so awesome that your head suddenly jerks itself and hairs come streaming down your eyes. Again, you have not seen yourself. But removing the veil of hair is a very ordinary matter. You just stretch your neck a little better and it moves away. So mala, vikshepa and avarana have to be dealt with in order to have the revelation, who am I? And it's just like seeing your face in the mirror of the mind. O Rama, the thoughts, this is my body, this wealth is mine, are illusory in nature. The objects of the world, which are claimed by a person as his possessions, are as illusory as his body. Even your own body doesn't belong to you. How can you be proud of having wonderful ornaments in your body? That you have pearls in your ears, gold in your nose. The body itself doesn't belong to you. How can those things belong to you? And of course, body-related, all realities that you face, challenges you face, they are on the basis of the body. Consider this world as a long dream. O Rama, by adopting self-effort, internalize your mind. Self-effort is directed towards practicing integral yoga in your daily life. That's a self-effort to bring about harmony, a rhythmic melody of action, emotion, will and reason. If you start doing that, antaranga movement becomes possible. You begin to internalize yourself, implying your vichar, your thoughtful process inquires, who am I? And understands, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the senses. You go internalizing yourself, starting with the body, go one step internal, your prana, go further internal, your mind, more internal, your intellect, ego. Go internal, and the absolute internal, your pure awareness. Chit, Chaitanya. Put it again in another way. All that you experience on the basis of thought waves of your mind, they are external, called bhava pratyaya, experiences based on mental projections. What is absolute internal? When, just like a cinema show you are seeing, all that you are seeing is external. When the whole show is taken away, the screen that has been the reality behind the show, that screen now shines forth. The internal is always there with you. But unless you have done the external sadhana, Unless you dealt with the mental projections in the right way, you cannot have the revelation, I am Brahman. When your mind begins to flow on to the Absolute, you will become established in the understanding that this world is illusory. But as long as your mind is externalized, as long as you are involved with vrittis of the mind, so long will this world continue to assert its reality in your consciousness. The mind perceives values and realities in objects according to its inner attitude called bhavana. जिसकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूर्ति देखी तिन तैसी. The entire world is Brahman, Prabhu Murti, Prabhu the Lord. He is behind the entire creation. Brahman alone exists, but जिसकी रही भावना जैसी, countless souls having their sentimental plane in different way, backed up by your feeling, how you feel. No two persons feel exactly the same way. No two souls feel the same way. Not even a person has the same feeling day by day. You feel happy, things seem brighter for you and more fulfilling. When you feel miserable, even the best things, even the sun, look at the sun, and you say, what a calamity the sun has gone through. And all that you are thinking about yourself, that is your bhavana. If your bhavana is developing the notion that you have been always a miserable person. Sometimes people are proud to think of their misery from their childhood. That we have faced so many troubles. Troublesome person. Then that is your reality. And when you look at others and you develop your own concept, that these people have not faced those realities that I have faced. It's your bhavana, not theirs. But people become the source of your joy and sorrow just by their presence, not by the looks of their face, based on your own bhavana. And such is the mystery of creation. That your bhavana-based vision has no limit. You can have countless types of experiences based on your bhavana. All the rasas, humor, terror, love, sweetness, friendliness, all types of rasas that you experience based on sentiments. They all are the magic show of bhavana. And this show of bhavana has to turn into bhakti bhavana. There again, if you are advancing in a spiritual way, your understanding of God will be in different levels. Jaki rahi bhavana jaisi. Your bhavana is God is mighty strong. Then your mind will be always thinking of the muscles of God. And that's the only bhavana will be there. This is only because of His strength you can be free of the demons that are after you. And every misery will view as demon behind you. And sometimes, surprisingly, we'll start seeing demons. Human mind has amazing power. So, all the three lokas become in different colors, in different stages, backed up by bhavana. And when bhavana turns into bhakti, all the three lokas become a source of inspiration, because you begin to see God's glory manifesting in every way. And whenever your bhavana has been purified by bhakti and by vichar, bhavana becomes your anubhav. Anubhav means your direct experience. Your revelation. When passion colors the mind, the bodies of men and women become a source of great pleasure, great enchantment. When the mind is colored by different bhavanas, it finds different delights in the objects of the world. Same dish you are eating, but backed up by bhavana, your internal feeling will be, internal taste will be different. And I will not detail upon it. Rajneesh. Okay. O Rama, the repeated impressions gathered in the mind become the basis of one's reality. As you think, so you become. As you think, as you feel, as you day by day allow the bhavana to have entered your heart. That defines your practical reality. And therefore, sadhana requires a profound, subtle change to operate in the structure of your personality. And that begins to operate automatically if you follow integral yoga movement. Just as the experiences of the day reflect in dreams, the experiences of the waking state are nothing but reflections in consciousness. See? A karma that is mature expresses in your waking state. Immature karma expresses in your dream state. I have to understand that. Let me give you a simple illustration. You became interested in practicing sadhana, and you get initiated, and you are doing japa. One day you did wonderful japa. But when you went to sleep, you had a very bad dream. You had a car wreck. And you suffered a lot of physical injury. Now when you wake up, now this story is a parable. This spiritual aspirant goes to his guru and complains. The mantra I gave me trouble. And Guru explained to the disciple that you should be happy. That accident was going to happen in your physical, practical reality. But because of sadhana, the karma became reduced. Reduced karma simply operated in another subtle plane, subconscious. And similarly, certain karmas that are only to play, karma operates both ways, physically and sometimes just subtle in your mental process. Similarly, just like if you have negative karmas, your sadhana can turn can completely reduce them. Your karma can karma fluctuates based on your sadhana. Sadhana can make your karmas thinner, more subconscious, and more advanced sadhana, the negative karma will be completely negated. It will not exist in a small way, in a thin wave. It will be, say wave goodbye to it. Even a cowardly person, as he sits imagining, is not frightened by his mental creations of tigers and lions. Just giving you an idea how your imaginations are not limited as your body is. No matter how limited your body is always limited. Your imaginations have go beyond your expectation. And therefore, what you are being given is the role of your mind. You should not limit your mind on the basis of how things appear in the physical plane. Don't limit your intelligence on the basis of how you look. You are just 5 feet, 6 feet tall, and you have to drink the whole world in 3 sips. How can it be possible? I'm just trying to give you to understand. But all that is possible because you are not, your body is not limiting your mental expansion. And that's the purpose of your embodiment. In the same manner, when a sage comes to realize that this world is sustained by the mind alone, he sees all this as his mental projection. Therefore, he is no longer afraid of anything. That is the state of sthita prajna state. When you become rooted in the awareness, I am Brahman, that state of enlightenment, then how do you deal with the vrittis of your mind? You view the vrittis of your mind, all the world experiences, you understand they are vrittis of your mind. And vrittis of your mind are similar to reflections in a lake. Lake is pure consciousness. Not a single vritti will be effective unless consciousness is behind it. And vrittis can create lots of drama, all the 3 planes, physical, sentimental, plane of understanding, all these 3 lokas and all the experiences that you go through are reflections in consciousness. If you are enlightened, I am pure consciousness. That truth shines. And reflections become a fun, leela. If you are not enlightened, you are You are in the realm of reflections. Reflections are no longer reflections. You are constantly fighting the battle of your life. And consciousness has broken up into variety of consciousness. Consciousness of anger, consciousness of hate, consciousness of love. All is consciousness. So unless you have consciousness, you will not be experiencing. So, on one side, consciousness is broken up into pieces due to ignorance. Due to knowledge, pure consciousness is ever absolute. And all the experiences that you get of time, space, causation, all things that happen in the world, they are reflections. So many things reflect in a lake, the sky, the stars, sun, moon, all types of things. O Rama, that which is affected by fear needs to be purified and cultured. In brief, mala, gross impurity, has to be purified. And that again becomes a whole art. If you want to deal with your anger or hate or anything negative, don't get too worried about dealing with the negative. Don't be afraid of the negative. First thing, deal with the mantra 3S. Suppress. And substitute and sublimate. Suppress, substitute, sublimate. I give you a humorous way to understand it. Some inimical person is knocking at your door. Again, inimical is based on how you feel. And you have been trying to encounter that inimical person, and you have but now, surprisingly, the inimical person has come at your very door. It's an opportunity to shower all your nasty words, scoldings at him. That's what you wanted. But don't open the door. Develop the idea, let me get myself well nourished to face this person. So go to your refrigerator. And you get a little more nourishment. You forgot all the things that you wanted to say to the person. So let me shout at the person tomorrow. Don't meet him now. But tomorrow I can give you a volume of abusive words. I'm joking. The moment you delay it, your mind begins to cool down. Put it in a very simple way. Any anger you want to correct, try not to confront angry situation. Keep away. And while you are away, practice more of meditation affirmation, go into some satsanga process. That I am growing in the image of Buddha, growing in the image of Rama, Krishna. That's the great project. Why should I humiliate myself? And that positive in you, if you continue to assert again and again, this also is called Gada Parinyaya, again and again and again, that becomes your reality. Your mala then is becomes sublimated. Malas create vices, and when they are sublimated, they become virtues. It is the mind that needs to be treated. The self is ever free of all delusions and fear. The moment one attains spiritual knowledge, the innate purity of the self is immediately revealed. When the mala goes sublimated, vikshepa, mind that runs in many directions, by Godward movement, by your inquiry, who am I, and by increasing affirmation, as you keep the asserting, I am Brahmana, I am pure, I am enlightened, I am growing in the image of God. If that process continues, then avarana, the veil of illusion that has kept you away from your essential identity, what is called ignorance, that veil is removed. So mala, vikshepa and avarana, three knots are corrected, removed. And that's the goal of life. And with this I will conclude for now. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya grace of God over all, and the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Mritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hari Om Tat Sat.
Would anyone like to ask a question tonight?
Feel free.
Okay, well, Swamiji's next lecture will be on Friday night Tulsi Ramayana at 7:30. We conclude for tonight.